In this video, I'll be doing a deep dive on one of the new machine age ascension paths, Virtuality. We'll be starting with what Virtuality does, getting the most out of Virtuality, and then the best ways of getting to Virtuality. This is all so you can dominate the galaxy while being a hologram. I'm EP3O, and I'm known for playing Stellaris in weird and challenging ways. I'm sponsored by Paradox to bring you this video, as well as 2 more on modularity and nanotech ascension coming soon. Now, let's get into Virtuality. Let's start with the tradition tree, as this will give us the best ways of using Virtuality, as well as knowing what this ascension even does. When you adopt Virtuality, you gain the virtual trait for your primary species. This reduces pop housing usage, gives an extra 25% species minimum habitability, and you'll eventually get leader virtual traits, which gives your governors more research from jobs, commanders more fire rate, less disengagement chance, and scientists 10% anomaly, dig site, and astral rift speed. Now, it's not all good. You'll also get minus 15% resources from alloys and consumer goods, but don't worry, the rest that comes from this tree is extremely good and interesting. You'll also get the optimized network agenda, which gives 5% resources from virtual pops initially, and on top of this, +1 code breaking and encryption when launched, as well as +2 code breaking and +2 encryption just from adopting. All of these changes and buffs, and all we've done is adopted the tradition. On the right side, we reduce research and priest or bureaucrat upkeep by 10%. We also get 15% leader upkeep reduction, as well as less empire size from pops. But we get a fizz indication of what Virtuality is good for, as empire size from planets is +100%. On the left, cluster's capacity modifies the virtual species trait and gives it the following effects. You will get 175% resources from jobs, but then you minus this by 25% per colony, meaning if you have 4 colonies, you will be getting 75% resource output. This also comes with 0.1 energy pop upkeep per colony, so at 4 colonies, a 0.4 energy pop upkeep. These 2 initial picks are pushing us heavily in the tall direction. Tall is a specific way of playing Stellaris where you try to have as few planets and systems as possible, but you upgrade them as much as you can, making the super planets that have ridiculous efficiency. The opposite is wide, where you take everything you possibly can and just go for raw output and destruction. I won't bore you with the maths, but these numbers heavily suggest you want 3 to 4 really good planets. And by good planets, I mean big planets. And if you get lucky, potentially with modifiers on. This combined will give you a super high efficiency with low empire size, meaning you won't need huge tech numbers as your cost of techs won't be high. We've only looked at 2 picks so far, so we're just getting started. Next, capacity synchronization. This unlocks a virtual focus policy. If you come over to policies and edicts, you'll find these juicy modifiers. You can focus on research, gaining huge buffs, sacrificing unity, leader XP, and counselor skill. Or unity, while sacrificing tech, leader XP, and counselor skill. Or if you're attached to Steve, your incredible leader, you can gain 25% leader XP, counselor agenda speed, 2 effective counselor skill, but while sacrificing science and unity. Personally, I would have this on Unity Focus to start with, while you're trying to finish the rest of Virtual Ascension, then switch over to Research Focus for that unholy tech. Remember though, once you switch, you have to wait for 10 years to go back, so really think about what you're going to do. Next up, productivity simulations. Districts that provide clerk, administrators, or researchers provide additional jobs. This sounds incredible, but remember this is districts, not buildings. So on normal planets, only your city districts get this benefit. However, any other clerk giving district will provide more. Habitats, rings, or the lathe have research segments, so you'll get extra there. And eco-monopolises have administrators, so you'll get extra there too. However, even though I've dialed your excitement back a bit, you probably will utilize these benefits as you want to aim for these huge advanced worlds with this ascension, because the bigger, better single planets you can get, the better. Finally, advanced server maintenance. For each clerk on a planet, resources from virtual pops +1%. This sounds not great, but this synergizes nicely the previous pick due to getting more clerks, and the finisher, which we'll get to soon. Capital buildings will also provide +1 max district at planetary ascension tiers 1, 5, and 10. Again, this goes so well with tall, as you have fewer planets, you'll be ascending the few you have, meaning you can get better planetary effects and more max districts. And max districts are going to matter because of the amazing finisher Virtuality has. Virtual pops are instantly created to meet job requirements of buildings and districts. And you also get a planetary decision to shut down a planet. Pops being instantly created is as crazy as it sounds. And this is why you want to find big, great planets. Upgrading them and making them as big as possible is hugely beneficial, as you won't have to wait to populate it. This leads to a huge spike in production for your empire. and is one of the coolest ascensions I think has been created. The planetary decision is also neat. It gives a quick and easy way of reducing any planets you no longer deem worthy. Remember to get down to around 4 really good worlds and you're golden. And finally, you can actually work your clerk jobs, as you're going to get plus 1% production from the previous pick. Okay, so this is really cool, but how do we get here? Surely it must be impossibly hard and difficult, since this all sounds too good to be true. Well, that's where you're wrong, if you know what you're doing anyway. Firstly, to get here you must have 3 ascension perks already chosen. Be a machine, either individualistic or gestal, then choose the synthetic age ascension. As you may have noticed, this is all purely related to Unity. That is what you want to focus on. There are no pets in the way. I personally love playing as an individualistic machine and focusing on trade. That sounds wild, but hear me out. If we start on a habitat or shattered ring, we get access to trade districts, giving traders, which are even better clerks, for trade. We can then go mercantile as our first tradition, then grab adaptive economics, convert 1 trade into 0.5 energy and 0.5 unity using the trade policy. Then push trade as much as you can, expanding trade districts, colonizing more habitats or ring world sections. Once you take synthetic age, you will have to push through a situation. I recommend not overclocking it so that you can save your Unity for when you have virtuality unlocked. Then when the decisions pop up, focus only on virtuality, and in no time you will have virtuality finished. And then you can move away from trade into science, alloys, and galactic domination. You can combine this with other Unity gaining traits, ethics or civics, like adaptive frames, spiritualists, beacon of liberty, and parliamentary system. Parliamentary system's a very good pick, as it will spawn factions straight away, giving you a huge Unity advantage, getting to mercantile even quicker. Virtuality is a strong ascension path. However, it is extremely strong the earlier you get it, due to the massive influx of population you can gain from it. This is why you should rush it. And maybe there's a better decision if you're 150 years in with already fully populated planets. It's also a great ascension path for playing tall. I mean, just don't use it if you are wide, it actually will hurt you. So use the huge boost it gives you early, as later on, other ascension paths will catch up to you. If you want to find out the best ways of using modularity and nanotech, make sure to subscribe, as those videos will be coming soon.